This is the pre-recording of our first tutorial summary with the topic of reflective practice. We aim for each summary recording to support our students in the internship, encouraging them to engage in discussion and interactive 5 tutorial classes, and to share experiences and information during the internship with the support of a career consultant for feedback at the same time. So my name is Bita Zaferanloo, Senior Lecturer and Unit Convener of Professional Internship, and with me we have Liz Crosara, who is the Career Consultant. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather, the Wurundjeri people of Kulin Nation, and pay my respect to their elders past, present, and emerging. Today's reflection snapshot will unpack what is reflection, benefits and challenges of reflection, how do we reflect, using the reflective practice framework. Let's start at the beginning. What do we mean by reflection? We have a couple of good definitions here in this slide. The first one is reflective practice involves purposeful consideration of beliefs, thoughts, and actions to improve and learn, which is suggested by Lochran 2006. The second one, it's about learning from experience to gain new insight into oneself and one's practice, which is suggested by Finlay, 2008. As you can see, the common thread in these definitions is about reflection being a learning tool. Consequently, it is commonly used in assessments to measure students' learning. Reflective practice is also an internal evaluation tool. It involves thinking through an event or situation, analyzing what it all means to you, and deciding on a course of action and to a situation or improve something which is coming in future, which is illustrated in this diagram. So you can see that description, feeling, evaluation, analysis, conclusion, and action plan. So reflection is always about self-improvement and personal growth. The situation we reflect on become important learning opportunities. It's also an essential tool for developing more self-awareness, which is turn builds professionalism and help with career planning. We often reflect on our personal lives without realizing it. Writing a journal or reviewing over an interaction with a friend, for example, or the simple example of the reflection in our day-to-day lives.
So why do we ask you to reflect? A couple of reasons there: to establish links between your experiences, your studies, and your professional identity, to enhance active participation in your own learning, to guide and inform future workplace and career choices, and to develop self-awareness and the capacity to express your learning and career path. This practice also serves as a valuable aid for developing critical thinking and continual refinement. And it helps with things like keeping you accountable, developing your professionalism, and acting to mitigate or prevent future risks or problems. By reflecting on things that may have gone wrong, we can put measures in place to ensure that those issues don't happen next time, which then leads to better workplace practices too. As you can hopefully see, reflective practice is a very worthwhile exercise. And just as beneficial as it is, reflecting can be a challenge for a number of reasons. Time and motivation are the usual suspects. Sometimes we just move through the day and fail to stop and think it all over. For some, though, reflection is something that they perhaps avoid. It can be a confronting action when you have to honestly assess how you did, particularly when things didn't go so well. But reflection isn't about finding fault. It's always moving past the issue to set things up to be better for next time. In setting up a plan for next time, another challenge can be setting unrealistic next steps. Think about small, gradual improvements rather than committing to huge actions that will be impossible to achieve. Doing this will probably make you more likely to reflect on situations in the future too, rather than avoiding the whole process. And sometimes what we see in ourselves isn't always an accurate reflection of reality. A lack of self-awareness or objectivity can really get in the way of honestly appraising a situation and your role in it. In this instance, it can be helpful getting feedback from others who may be a little less subjective in their assessments. So when and how are you going to reflect through your internship? The answer to that one is all the time, before, during, and after your internship. So consider what you are excited for, concerned about in the lead up to your internship. Reflect regularly during the internship and then do a final reflection at the end of it all. How did you go? What are you proud of? What would you do differently next time? Some simple ways to record your reflections might include keeping a diary. This can be really helpful during an internship when you can jot something down at the end of each day, and this will serve as a great record of your experience long after you've finished it and possibly forgotten about a lot of the smaller details. What did you do each day? How did it make you feel? What will you try tomorrow? What do you want to improve? You can also debrief with family and friends too. Run your thoughts past them, see what they can add. Have a support network at home. It can be super helpful to order through your thoughts, possibly think up solutions for things you could do differently or improve on next time.
When we think about reflecting, it's helpful to be led by a reflective practice framework to help order our thoughts. This model from Rolfe et al. Is a nice, simple way to break up the reflective process into three clear parts: what, so what, and now what. So to cover the what, you describe a situation, event, or incident briefly, the one that is inspire you or it is interesting for you. Then with the so what, you reflect on the significance of the experience, considering its importance for your professional development, organization insights, and relevant knowledge or theories from your studies. And you are going to use of the specific examples. For now what, outline a plan for future action and professional growth, including what you would do differently next time and the skill and knowledge you aim to develop further, how you are going to use of this learning.
So let's have a look at reflective practice in action. We've got an example here that it might help to sort of understand a little bit more of what we're talking about. We've got the scenario here of a intern having to perform a meeting. So first part, what? I was asked to present at my team meeting and deliver the wrong information. I felt really silly and unprepared and the team looked unimpressed. So just a really quick quick setting the scene. So what? What about that? What was meaningful or relevant to you? This was the first presentation I had to give and was important. I can see I'd made a lot of assumptions about what my boss wanted and had failed to clarify things with her. I also acknowledge I hadn't spent enough time preparing for it or taking my boss's requests seriously. I see I'm a bit disorganized too. So it's looking inward at what's happened there. And now we're looking to the future. Now what? I'm going to ask a lot more questions with future requests from my boss. We'll write things down. I'm going to show a draft of my work to my boss to check I'm on the right track and allocate more time on the task. I will also ask my colleagues for feedback on how I did, so I can incorporate that into future presentations. So it can be daunting to write a reflection if you've never done one. Hopefully that demonstration in the last screen gave you some ideas of kind of what you would write. But we've got these questions here as well. When reflecting, consider some of these prompts to guide you at the end of each stage of what, so what, and now what, using that framework. Working through some of these can make writing a reflection significantly easier. So keep them handy, particularly for your assessments.
And thanks for listening, and see you in the first tutorial class. We hope to have a very interactive, based on the reflective practice. You come with your experience, your idea, and we could facilitate the session, and we could provide you the feedback. Thank you so much. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Bita.